Give everybody a couple minutes to get on here and subscribe, or get on here and do some commenting. I don't really schedule these things, they just kind of happen, so I can't really set it up too well ahead of time. But got finished doing my editing and my skinning for the day. Didn't run any traps today. It was kind of a camp day. It happens every once in a while, I guess. But if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free. I'll get to them as soon as I can. And if I miss your question, throw it up there again, because I'm not going to miss any on purpose, obviously. And yeah, if I get by it, they come in pretty hot and heavy once the live starts filling up. So if I happen to miss your question, just ask it again. So there you go. Kyle Cobb's the first one. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. You've helped me in more ways than you could imagine. Oh man, thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot, and it's a big part of what I do on this channel, and the plan of the channel is to help other people as much as I possibly can. You know, with their trapping or their hunting or their ice fishing or anything. Utah Mike. Still no ice. Man, you're usually on early ice by now. We're I don't even know how much ice we have. We probably have 8 inches or more in a lot of spots right now. We've been in a crazy cold spell. What's the temp right now? Temp is 14, and that's the warmest I've seen in probably 12-15 days probably. D Chabris says fur price is good this year. No idea. We're gonna set the price for Martin and Fisher that we're gonna sell to subscribers, and it just is what it's gonna be. And you never know really till the auction, but I think prices are actually going up quite a bit. It's getting more popular, and a lot of people are wearing a lot of fur garments now. John wants to know if there's any mink up there, or are you just not targeting them? Both. Yeah, there's very few mink. Very few. We picked up one inadvertently the other day in a box, probably a couple 100 yards from a stream, and another trapper picked one up, and I heard another trapper got one. So this is the most we've ever heard of up here for mink, but they're not strong. Down in like central southern Maine, you could trap some mink and put up some pretty good numbers, but up here there's just not a lot of them. There's my dad. He wants to know about the snow. Yeah, we ended up only getting like 5 or 6 inches of snow. I was expecting like 11, which could have turned into like 15, but it's just here it was like a really dry, cold, fluffy snow. We got maybe 5 inches of snow on top. Ashton's leaving his trapping course at 4. Nice. Good luck, buddy. Nice. Roger Fuller. Joe, love your channel. Love the ice fishing the best, but the trapping is good. Just wondering what really got your channel taken down last year. Oh, so last year, yeah, the channel getting taken down was 2 things. It was an attack by the anti-trappers, anti-hunters, the antis as we call them. And then it was YouTube not having the right system set up. They used an AI, and the AI just wasn't prepared to handle a terrorist attack from a terrorist organization like PETA or the Humane Society. So got it back on. We're good to go now, and I'm within all the policies. Similar to last year, I was within all YouTube's policies. Kevin Moore, big fan. Wondering how big or thick the rubber bands you use while ice fishing. Yeah, so get the wider ones. I don't really know what they call them, but you know, you could just buy a variety pack and get a feel for it. You know, if you're fishing small brook trout, have one that breaks at like a 4-pounder. The ones I'm using, anything over like 8 or 9 pounds can break them. You know, so if you're fishing lake trout and you get there and it's not on the rubber band, well, you know you got a giant. But for the most part, they're pretty wide, but they're not like super thick. You can break them if you rip them apart, you know. But that rubber band trick is like, that is the biggest game changer in ice fishing since clothing or electric augers. You know, it's the easiest, cheapest thing you could do, and it's the best trick that I could share with you guys ice fishing for all species. Alan Piershaw, love the collaboration with FBM, ice fishing in Wisconsin. Now you going to visit us this year? Man, I'm not going to say I'm not. You know, like I don't have any plans outside of Maine this year, but I'm the type of guy, you know, in in a day I could pick up and go to Minnesota or Wisconsin or anywhere else and ice fish if the right situation comes up. Yeah, 8 inches in Caribou. D. Jobber said, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, 8 inches of snow. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's not 8 inches of ice in some spots. Marcus says, thanks for being you. My daughter and I watch every episode. Really enjoy it. Looking forward to getting out on the hard water here in northern Maine. Nice. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Great Lakes, is the truck fixed? It's not fixed yet. Nope. And it's kind of on me at this point. My mechanic has the part. He's ready to go, and he's willing to put the time in. It's just a matter of me getting out there, and working things out on my end. So it's going to get fixed this week. I've been kind of running around with two-wheel drive, and it's been a pretty interesting couple days, before today. Today was a camp day. I stayed in camp all day, edited video, got caught up on skinning, did a little bit of firewood, stuff like that. But the truck should be fixed this week, we're hoping. Ross, Ontario says, hello, Joe from Vancouver Island. There you go. Donnie's heading there. I got some Donnie updates for you guys I'm going to be posting in the next couple videos. Donnie's learning how to video with his iPhone, so it's going to be interesting the first couple, but I think we're going to get there, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy some video updates from Donnie from time to time over the course of the next couple months. There's Wendy. She says hello. I say hello. Sora Bawan says, did you ever need to rebuild the engine? Yes, actually, we did. I put a new engine in at about 300,000 miles, I think. Maybe 330. 3352 Masick says, hi from Canada. Love your channel and your thoughts on your brand new expedition. So far, going really, really well with the expedition. I took it for a major rip last night. Probably went a little faster than I should have. I wear a helmet, but you know how it is. And there's moose that could jump out at any point. But I'm starting to get a lot more comfortable on the thing. It's super peppy. It's super quick. The only thing I'm not 100% sure of is it feels a little tippier. And it could just be because of how tight it is, if that makes sense. My old one, I could feel like every turn and every bend on it was awesome. But this one, the rear end seems to kind of want to come up a little bit, and I've gone around a couple turns where it felt like it was tippier. Now, I haven't tipped it yet. I haven't done anything stupid yet, and I haven't tried to yet. We don't have quite enough snow. When we get a couple feet of snow, I'll test it and really learn and see what it can or can't do. But otherwise, it's phenomenal. I haven't learned all the settings with the computers and all that stuff, or where all the buttons are. It's getting ridiculous, and I hooked it up to my phone for some reason, and I don't know if that's a good idea or not, hooking up your snowmobile to your phone, but it's hooked up. But the sled is unbelievable. It's super, super peppy. It seems to be better on fuel than my last one. This one has the Gen 5 platform, so I'll be able to tell you guys if it's tippier, if it just feels a little bit tighter, like going into the turns and stuff pretty soon. John Jones says, good ending. I'm not sure which ending, John. Oh, good evening, probably. Yeah, good evening. Good evening, John. Kevin Moore, the ones I used today for rubber bands felt like there was taking the bait because the fish don't swallow, so I ripped the bait out of their mouth. Huh. Oh, I wonder if you're talking about the rubber bands that we use for bait bands for pike, or are you talking about the ones I use on reels? Because I end up using two different rubber bands when I'm ice fishing. Evening, there it is, John. Kyle Cobb, wish we could meet up on the ice somewhere sometime. JN, hey Joe, new to the channel, enjoying it. Why no gloves? Joe from Manitoba. I wear gloves every time I snowmobile. My hands can get cold if I'm just sitting and not doing anything and snowmobile, and that's the only time my hands really get cold. If they get cold ice fishing or something like that, I'll put gloves on. But I'm just super lucky that way, where my hands have a really strong resistance to the cold. And I think just growing up fireman and working outside and always never wearing gloves, I guess I should say, kind of built up a lot stronger tolerance to the cold. But we'll see. John Jones is colder than a well digger's behind here on the river tonight, and that wind doesn't help. Yeah, it's blowing pretty bad here, John. It's a couple times it's caught my attention and started ripping. You see a big snow swath go by. There's Jonas Gatto. Ashton says, my instructor looked at me today and asked if I was on YouTube. I've never met him before. He found me on one of your lives and appreciates you shouting me out. Very cool. Very cool. Ross, Ontario. Donnie's heading out here, and I'm heading back east to do some ice fishing. There you go. Michael Brouillet, good evening, Joe, and viewers. Thanks for tuning in. Guys, if I miss any questions, just put them back in there. So, where are we? Okay, there we go. That Expedition's a great sled. Guys love them up in Northern Ontario. Yeah, the Expedition is, in my opinion, for what I do, ice fishing, trapping, a little bit of shed hunting, not much. It's the best sled on the market for that type of stuff. D. Schaber said the skis were wider on the old sled. I'll have to check into that. I noticed there's a couple shims on this one, and my dealer set it up on the inside, so it looks like I can shim them out wider. And I'm also going to get the training wheels for it, the ski skins eventually, which really, really makes a big difference. So, Minnie Mouser said hello. Mark Massey, hey Joe, it was great to see Tom Miranda on your channel. I had no idea he spent his early days where I live in the upper PI of Michigan. Love your wholesome content. I've learned a lot. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, Tom's story, man. It's just awesome, like how he got started and the beginning of his Trapline. It's really worth getting that book or just following him. Like we'll have him on the channel again, I promise you guys that, and I'll do more videoing then. A lot of times I just don't video when I'm living in the moment, or if I feel like a video camera is going to take away from something, I put the video camera up, and I really want to enjoy every second myself and be present. And if the camera's a distraction, then I put it away, because it became a little bit of a distraction with Tom. He's just such a consummate professional, and you turn that camera on, man, he turns into like ESPN Tom Miranda, like millions and millions and millions of views before social media, and big time stuff. So I put it away for that reason. But the next time he's here, we'll definitely shoot some more video footage on some really old cool stories. Shelby, want to know how big that buck is? That buck is 236 pounds field dressed, and I got that one at 236 yards with the open sights back when I used to shoot a lot, so got pretty lucky. So Kevin Moore said the rubber bands on the reels. So yeah, I use, let me see if I might even have one here somewhere. But I use a pretty decent rubber band. It's like maybe like a quarter inch thick at the thickest, or an 1/8 inch thick. No, I don't see it anywhere, Kevin, at the thickest, but pretty good size rubber band for ice fishing. Alan Dufresne, there he is. Hello. 3352 Massick said thanks for your expedition comments. For sure, absolutely. Buck Smith, love your channel, always wanted to trap. I've trapped some pesky raccoons around the house. Now I just live my trapping through you. Thank you, I appreciate that. I know there's a lot of people that just can't get out and trap, or they love to trap, or they're just not at a point in their life where they can get out and trap. So a big part of why I share a lot of the stuff I do on my channel, guys, is so other people can do it vicariously through what I'm doing. And I try to do it with respect for the animal, and respect for other trappers, and respect for myself even, and just knowing that other people can't do it. I just try to bring it to you guys in the best possible way. So this Frank says Wisconsin's going to be getting very, very sharp on Saturday. I'm guessing that means cold there. So yeah, that's good. It's good for you guys. Build some ice. The Wisconsin Ice Show this weekend, if you fly out, you can stay with me. I won't be out for that Wisconsin show. I used to go to the St. Paul, Minnesota show, but it's just the worst time of year for my trap line. So if I go to any ice fishing shows, it'll probably be in January, and I don't know which shows are around then. I think the North Dakota show's early. There might be some Wisconsin shows that late, but most of the shows, they don't really want to do them like in the season like that. But mine would have to be either before November or after December's over. There's Woodchuck Man just getting in from deer hunting with no luck. Oh man, bummer. Tate McPherson, did you shoot those deer? Just pick them up on a yard sale. Those ones I took off your wall, Tate. Yeah, I snowmobiled up to your camp and took those off your wall. Couple decent ones there. Tate's a good fella, guys. He's my food expert for the county. So he's a foodie. There's Shelby Parr. How big is your buck? Oh, wait, did I already get that one? No, you asked again. 236 pounds is that one. And I've shot a couple pretty big bucks over the years, just been super lucky, and they were dumb and stepped out in front of me. Alan up north. Wow, the price of ice fishing gear and for it to only last a year is crazy. Geez, I've had really good luck with the stuff I buy. I guess spend the money, buy the top of the line stuff, and should last. Jack traps are going to last you forever if you get a set of jack traps. Those are like a generational product where you can pass them down multiple generations. Done several times. Actually, I think it's the warmest we've had all year. I'm going to get around because we're shooting this one on the phone. You guys who watched the last live, I was curious if this is clearer because the last one was really grainy shooting it on my computer, and this one's looking clearer to me. We're at 13 degrees above zero on the Fahrenheit scale, and that's pretty much the warmest it's been all week. I'll show you guys outside. We got some snow coming. I forgot I left the wood stove open. Let me show. How's that? All right, there's the wood stove. She's just a ripping. That good dry hardwood this year really makes a difference. You don't burn as much, and it burns way hotter and way nicer and way cleaner. So there's that. There's camp. My desk is kind of a mess, but I got my editing computer right here. Notebook here. I still use notes. Bunch of trail cameras off traps. Got some furs that I put up. We got a couple marten and a weasel that I put up today that need to be turned. There's the mink. I did it fur out just for fun. And then since I'm getting all my fisher tan this year, I just leave them fur in because it'll be easier for the tannery. But there's some big fisher there. That one was actually too big for a regular male fisher board. So I actually put it on a coyote board, on a coyote stretcher, and got it maxed out pretty good. But that was a really big fisher. Stay tuned. You're going to see that episode coming up. And then this was another really nice male fisher here that maxed out the male board. And then that's just an absolutely gorgeous female fisher that came on one of Donnie's last sets. So there you have it. There's the snow going outside. Got the snow machine. Got the north cabin. And then I'm back. So yeah, so that's the cabin, guys. That's camp life for you right now. It's couldn't go any better. Couldn't be any better. I'm going to get back to some of these comments and questions. She'll hit the ice this year. Alan up north says he's going to hit the ice this year. John Jones, do you black powder? I do, yeah. And I actually picked up some black powder supplies for this year because I was going to try to shoot a deer in that 1 week that we have up in northern Maine. And then I got sick, if you guys saw from those videos, and it just took the life out of me. And I just didn't care enough about deer to go out when I was sick and track them down. I just wanted to keep trapping. There's Tom. Sean Conley. Hey, Joe, love the videos with FBM Maine Outdoor Journal. There's Mildred over there. That was great. Yeah, those were some of my favorite. I'm going to have Joe on the channel a lot more, guys. He's one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. It's entirely off the cuff, and he's just a wonderful, great guy, and I had a blast with him, trapping with him, and I'm really looking forward to ice fishing with him. Sean Conley. Hey, Joe, love the video. Oh, they already got that one, sorry. Alan Dufresne, I followed and watched everything Tom has published and videoed. Wow, that's amazing. That's a lot. Justin wants to know, do you trap full-time or just a hobby? I guess that's debatable. I try to go full-time, I guess. And a hobby. I don't know. Let's just call it a passion. Let's call it a passion and then see where that ends or where that winds up. Just calling it an absolute most passionate about trapping. JR said Tom was in TNT on Saturday morning. Yeah, on TNT. Yeah, I remember that channel. Tracy Bird hosted the show. That's a country singer, if you guys don't know that. I'm pretty sure one of the shows was Hunting the Country. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, some of the stories I heard from him were just out of this world, guys. They're just amazing and great guy. Junkman says, hi from Duluth, Minnesota. You're very Minnesotan and love the content. Thank you. I was out in Minnesota for a couple winters during that St. Paul ice show at the beginning of December. I did like 2 or 3 years in a row and got to fish with my buddy Nick Lindner. Nick's got a great YouTube channel. If you guys are looking for some Minnesota content, and you've all probably heard of the Lindner's ice fishing lineup. And Nick's just, he's awesome. Great guy, got a great channel. And he put me on some fish, and we got to fish together and shot some lives and stuff like that. So I'm super, super fond of Minnesota. I was really disappointed in what they call a lake. It's called like the land of 10,000 lakes, and we would call those puddles here in Maine. No offense, no disrespect, but I don't think I'd call them lakes. I think I've made a few lakes in the snowbank, some yellow lakes bigger than some of the lakes they got out there, but I got a kick out of that. So, but yeah, Minnesota was awesome. I spent my favorite area that I traveled to. I did some fishing in Brainerd. That was kind of fun, but when I got into Otter Tail County, that felt like home. It was really cool. So Alan said his favorite was the muskox hunt with a bow and sub-zero temps. Yeah, I actually haven't seen that one. I'll have to check that one out. Rodney, we're going to get a trapping video tonight. Yes, that's a great question, Rodney. I'm going to give you guys that are tuned in for this live, you guys are going to get this week's schedule before anybody else does. So tonight, I got a 35-minute Fisher trapping video. It's going to be episode 30 from the Trapline, and it's kind of a special one to me because we pop some Fisher in it. We pop some Fisher, and it's really cool. And you could just see me come to life, come out of my sickness and just come to life with each catch. So tonight's video is going to premiere at 6 o'clock, or it's going to be on at 6. I guess I could probably switch that one to a premiere, and then yeah, I'm going to switch that to a premiere right now, and then I'll be able to watch that with you guys and answer questions as we're on the video. Unless I just do that here. I guess I could do that here too. But then you'd only be able to watch one or the other. So no, we got to do it that way. Tomorrow is going to be a half-hour video trapping by snowmobile, and that's a pretty good video too, I think. And then the next night is a video I'm super, super excited to bring you guys. So this is going to be on December 13th, which is, what day of the week is this? So Saturday night, don't miss this one. This one is one I've been sitting on for like a year. I finally got time to edit it today, but it was a snowmobile recovery from 176 foot deep in the bottom of Sebago Lake. That, I didn't stutter, guys. It was 176 foot deep under the ice, bottom of Sebago Lake, and I got the recovery all videoed, and it's got game wardens on it, it's got a diver on it, it's got guides on it. It's quite a video. I'm really proud of the edit. I wish I could have spent more time on the videoing side of it. Like, I should have just hired a videographer. I don't really know any at the time, but you know, because I was too busy helping as much as possible, but I did do some videoing. But the edit, I think, came out good. And I'm just so proud to introduce this diver to you guys. You know, some of you guys in Maine already know him. Outside of Maine, you probably don't know him, but the Maine State dive team won't dive over 120 foot, I was told, because it's too dangerous. This guy, his deepest recovery, I think, ever was 160 foot. And he went in under the ice and went down 176 foot deep. So before you guys watch this video, if you don't know, and this is going to be on Saturday. This is Saturday. I'm so pumped for you guys to see this. I want you to picture a guy, because I had no idea what to expect, you know, who's going to be crazy enough and just fit enough and young enough to do this. And then I really want you guys to show up for that episode if you can. That episode's like 50 minutes long. I trimmed it to get it under an hour, but it's got some really cool footage, and it's literally, it could possibly be the deepest recovery ever for a diver, of at least of a snowmobile, or at least in Maine. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's a record or anything like that, but the deepest one I ever saw on YouTube, there were a lot like 12 to 34 foot. 34, I think, was the deepest I saw previously. So that one's coming up Saturday. And then I might let that one sit for a day and not post Sunday, or I might put up another trapline video on Sunday. And then Monday, the following day, I got another really, really, really cool Fisher episode for you guys with some, it's probably got these Fisher right here on it. Yeah, it does. It does. That female for sure, and one of those males for sure is on that episode for Sunday. So that's the schedule. That's as far as I've gotten so far on the editing and the uploading. And I think I can get one or two more, and then I'm actually out of footage until I shoot some more. But the good news is I got one of my really good trapping partners and really good buddies is coming up and tomorrow, and we're gonna shoot a pile of footage and do a pile of trapping, and maybe even do some beaver trapping, some mink trapping, some otter trapping too. And I'd like to get him some marten and fisher. So that's the plan. It's a lot more footage coming up, but I'll try to get back to your questions down here, guys. Thanks for everybody tuning in and supporting the channel too. So JN wants to say, can you talk about your bait in the boxes and how you make your lure attractants? Yeah, so it's super, super simple. I'm kind of the mindset of just keeping it simple, smarty, KISS. And I use partridge carcasses for bait. I eat the partridge. I don't always eat the legs, but then I use the rest of the carcass, the head, the feathers, the guts, the bones, the feet, the tail, everything else. I wire them in the back. It's super, super, super important to wire your bait or have some way that they can't pull the bait into the trap. And then, whoa, super chat just came through. Thank you, guys. I'm going to get to that in 1 second. But it's super important. Then for lure, I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys like that I use this lure or that lure or that this one's the best or this one's the best or this name or Oscar Cronk's the best or I can't even name all the scents right now, or Tom Miranda's is the best. But this summer, every time I ordered trapping supplies or went to like the Windsor Trapping Show or whatever, if I saw one of those little 1 or 2 ounce or even 4 ounce bottles, and if it said Fisher, Martin, or Weasel on it, I bought it. And I have a bag, and of course all the labels wear off because they're just paper labels, and you're in the snow and everything's getting wet. And I try to use 2 or 3 of those lures to close an animal out. I use what I make for long range scent, which is just skunk and Vaseline, to bring them into that area and get them into that like concentric circle. And then after that, to close them out, I'm using just store-bought. There's so many just amazing lure makers in the U.S., and I don't know if they're doing anything different or using anything different. Some of them smell pleasant to me. Some of them smell god-awful to me. But I try to use 2 or 3 each time and get them on the inside of that box to close that animal. Because if you guys watch my channel and see how these animals react around the boxes, they don't just run in. They're super curious, and they work their way around the boxes. They stand on top of it. They go through the side holes, or they smell through the side holes. If there's holes in the back or a wire in the back, they work on that too. So to get them to go in that box, and then to get them to go into the back of the box from the front, is where I think these lures are really helping out. And that's something that I've been doing this year a lot more. So I don't have any brands that I'm loyal to. I don't have any brands that I'm going to sit here and tell you are the best. I think they all work. I think it's a animal by animal basis situation where each animal is going to react differently to a different smell. And there's just so many factors involved. So just, so try to use different ones. And I'll let you guys tell me what the best ones are, and maybe I'll try them out. Hopefully that helps answer your question. There's Uncle Pat. How are you, Pat? Brianna Gorman, enjoyed all your videos. Whatever you do, don't clean your hat. Yeah, that hat could probably stand up. I think it grew some legs and tried to walk out of here the other day, but it's pretty scary on the porch right now, what I have out there. So it came back for me. Jay Olson said, hope you're feeling better, man. I'm like 100%. I'm feeling tremendous right now. Thank you. I appreciate you guys and appreciate all the support. English Lab says he could go for Donnie's Donut right now. Yeah, we got some pretty cool stuff in the works with Don. He's learning how to use an iPhone for videoing, so bear with him, guys. And he's been giving me some update videos I'm going to forward on to you guys in the videos. So let me know how you like those as we post them, and if you guys are liking them, we'll keep doing them. Ryan says, have you ever thought of making a video on trapping native shiners for ice fishing? It would be a great video. Yeah, I've tried to do it a couple times. It just didn't work out. I was going to do it with a buddy of mine, Kenny, who welded the wood stove, and I don't know, we just didn't hook up on timing. But yes, I would like to shoot that video. Thank you for reminding me. And if you don't see one within about a month or 2 months, remind me again, because that's one I'd like to shoot this winter on, is how to trap your own bait for ice fishing. Sean Conley, Moosehead's making ice. It sure is. We're going to have the best ice fishing year we've ever had. D. Shabra says, you coming to the Long Lake Derby this year? I am not coming to the Derby. I haven't shot my Derby video yet, guys, but I'm not a fan of ice fishing derbies. I'm actually the opposite. I'm not a proponent, but I'm an opponent, an opponent of ice fishing derbies. I think they're probably the worst thing that we do to our fisheries in the state of Maine is sell absolute world-class, or not even world-class, we don't have many world-class fish, is we sell our best fish in the lake and the fishery so someone could win a pack basket, or a cheerleading team can raise money for their cheerleading event, or it's just the dumbest thing in the world to me. I think a family can enjoy a day of ice fishing without having to get a chance to win $100 or a gift certificate to Bob's Discount Tire and Spatula City. So I'm not a fan of derbies. I think they really hurt our lakes. You know, you guys, if you watched last night's video, you saw Brandon release a 20-pound lake trout, and that's out of one of those derby lakes. You know, and if he catches that, or if someone else catches that, they're not releasing that in the derby because it's worth $1,500. But to me, I don't know. I don't agree with derbies, guys. I don't support them. If it's a kids derby, I'm in favor of that, you know, to get kids out ice fishing, and if they're doing kids events and stuff like that, I'm all for it. But it just doesn't make sense to me. You know, these bass fishermen are forced by law to not only release the fish all summer, but they by law have to keep their aerators running, and they can't dump their water and all this other stuff. And then that same exact bass that's been caught 20 times and released and weighed in can be killed so someone can win a pack basket in the winter for a $5 derby. Just doesn't make sense to me. So that's my rant on derbies. I'm gonna gather my thoughts on it. I'm gonna talk to a lot of more people that I respect, that have both different sides on it, whether they are proponents or opponents of it, and then I'm going to put together a video to you guys explaining that, because I do get asked by a lot of the organizations to come support their fundraiser or their derby or whatever else, and I don't know, it just doesn't seem like a good trade-off to me, because our fisheries in Maine they're not world class, other than maybe the bass fishing and the pike fishing, but our salmon fisheries they're good. Our lake trout fisheries are lacking. You know, like, they could be so much better. And, you know, the fact that they're going to do an East Grand Derby this year is super disheartening to me, because, you know, they haven't had a Derby there in over 10 years, and it's producing multiple 10-pound fish. And we let them all go. You know, in one weekend, they could kill 50 to 100 10-pounders that are anywhere from 20 to 30 years old. Just doesn't make sense to me. So hopefully that answers your question on that. Sorry for you guys going off on a rant on that, but that's kind of how I feel. Wandering Picks. This is Frank. Says, my family comes across from a long line of French-Canadian fur trappers. That's awesome, man. I bet you got some amazing stories on that. Shay Lynn Gillespie. Hi, Joe. Love your videos. Would you be able to do some videos on skinning the martins and fishers? Yes. So I actually posted a martin skinning video, and you could do the exact same thing that I did in that video, just change that over to fisher. The only difference is the fisher are going to be a little bit harder, a little bit more fleshier. You know, I put the fisher on a flesh and beam for the most part. So, but if you just go on my page and hit videos, you'll see like a little search bar, and just search like Joe Holland martin skinning. I think Ashton knew which episode it was and told the people last time, but you could see that skinning video, and it's pretty. I mean, I get a martin down in about 4 minutes, probably skin, and I could put a martin up anywhere 10 to 12 minutes, skinning, fleshing, and boarding it. So it should be a pretty helpful video. And then you could do a fisher the same way. I do all my fisher and my martin and my mink just right over my knee, and then a coyote, I'll hang that to get a little bit more leverage when you're trying to skin it. But for the most part, those other ones I just do over my knee, and I'm pretty much self-taught on that stuff. So JR says, Joe from FBM Maine Outdoor Journal. What a funny guy. My face hurt after watching the videos the other day. Yeah, man, it hurt me to laugh, and I was struggling because he just kept me in stitches the whole time, and I wanted to laugh more, but it hurt, and it was getting pretty bad. How many of those bucks did you get on the wall? All of them but one, buddy. The one is from 1955 that Jeff remounted this year, and I posted a bunch of videos on that. Rick Whitston says, what's up? John Pitcher, grew up trapping fisher around Bremen, Damerscott, and Wiscasset. Just watching you now, though. That's awesome, man. John Pitcher. So I did know a Benny Pitcher from that area and Barry Pitcher. They were trappers in that area. 3 English labs. Pedal faster. The connection is breaking up. Oh, no, is it? Dang. I was thinking about going and paying the light bill right now and hitting that generator on. Hopefully we don't lose it. Joshua Gage, I'm feeling way better. Thank you so much for asking. Guys, there's a monstrous super chat sitting down here, and there it is. Okay. Doug Mushorn. Thank you so much, Doug. That is absolutely amazing super chat. That's incredible. Thank you so much for the support of the channel. Thank you. So that was sitting on the bottom, and I didn't want to miss it or miss them. I'm going to go back up. If I miss any questions, guys, there's Colin Smith tuning in from Alaska. That's amazing. If I miss any questions, just throw them in there again, please. I'm not missing any on purpose unless you say something real foolish and ask it like how big my farts are or something like that, like somebody else did. Okay, so there's that one. Is the second cabin going to be the skinning shack? So, yeah, it probably will. The second cabin's just going to be, it'll be whatever you guys think it can be. So it's going to be storage for sure, for tools and traps and stuff like that. It's going to have a workbench with a vise on it so I could work on stuff because I just have to have one of those. It's going to be storage for other stuff that you just have up to camp. Your extra battery chargers or just stuff you don't want in your camp, your extension cords, table saws, stuff like that. And then we're probably going to put some bunks in there too, because we had a lot of people in camp this October. I think there were 26 different people in the month of October. It was insane. I slept on the floor 5 or 6 nights. There was too many people and not enough beds. So we'll probably have some in there. And then it's got a garage door on the front, as you could see. And that's going to be helpful for getting the snowmobile in there if I ever need to get the sled in there and work on it. We haven't built the ramp yet, but in about 3 more weeks, we won't even need a ramp. I got a feeling the snow is going to be high enough. We get some serious snow up here, guys. We had over 6 foot last year, but I'll show you guys that cabin right now. But there it is right there. And there's a bunch of Martin boxes in front of it. Got a little snow coming down. Shoot, while I'm out here, I might as well pay the electric bill. Got a little Honda 2000 in there. Fuel pump. There we go. All right, that's all set. Yeah, there it is right there. There's the sled. Should be in the carport, but I don't mind if I get snow on it. But there's a birdhouse right there that Donnie built before he left. Look at all the snow on that thing's roof. And then there's the Martin box right there, where the Martin's been coming just about every night now and getting some food. There's a big weasel there. So, but yeah, hopefully the connection stays good and we don't lose power. So, big fan of the channel. This is Kyle McBay. Big fan of the channel. Notice your bookshelf in the cabin. What books do you keep up there? Oh man, that's a great question. Thank you. That reminds me, I don't want to do it this time because, but I think I'll shoot a live later in the week where we actually go through the bookshelf and go over which books I've read, which ones I haven't read yet, and 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 we'll go through all the books. How cool would that be? And then I'd love to take some recommendations from you guys once you see the types of books that I like. I'm sure you figure out what they are already, but thank you for that comment. There's Colin from Alaska. Jay Olson, did you tell Donnie that the Cubby set produced? What was his reaction? It was awesome. It was just classic Donnie. Super. Oh wow. It was just he was so happy. I'm sure he wished he could have been there for that one. That was his favorite set, and it's actually hit twice. I just picked it up yesterday. I think you're either going to see it tonight or tomorrow in the episode where it hit again, right back to back. So that was pretty cool. So Donnie was really happy to see that. There's 3 o'clock Bullock. Good to see you're feeling better. Thank you. Mark Massey, I also own a October ice cream shop. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Probably coffee or anything coffee-based ice cream. I just love it. Hudson Schlip says, can I see the wall-mounted deer you have? Yeah, there they are right there. Just a couple small ones up here, guys. We actually had a monster up here last year, but it fell off the wall. I think we didn't have it really properly attached on a screw head, and when all the snow came off the roof, the whole building shook, I think, in the spring, and I found it on the floor. So that's getting repaired, but that's a 9-pointer there. That one is also a 9-pointer. That's the one that weighed 236 field dressed. And then this is the one that Jeff just redid for us. That's from 1955, we figured. And I just can't do you guys any justice with how thick that beam and how thick that rack is. I want to say that one's 14 points by ring scale. You know, if you can hang a ring on it type deal. But it's just got such a meaty, big, beefy rack on it. And I love that deer. Then the other one is, what was that one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That one's got 11 points with a drop tine, and it still has some velvet on it. So, all right, I'm gonna get back to some more of these comments and questions, and we'll keep going from there. Mike Golden said, hi, Joe, great video content for your information. I went to school with your good friend Skip and his brother Colin. Oh, man, I know Colin, too. Great guys from a great family, both outstanding outdoorsmen. Yeah, good from a small Maine town. Yeah, they're the best outdoorsmen maybe that I've ever met. Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, just those guys are the real deal. And I talk to Skip almost every day. I talked to him a little bit today, and he's just a tremendous person. I might be able to go trap on his trap line in Alaska, and I'm hoping to get him back here and trap on this trap line again, maybe next year. So we'll see how that ends up. But I learned so much from him in so many different ways, and Skip's probably the reason why I'm not a game warden. You know, he talked me out of it, or he's one of the guys that kind of talked me out of it, whether he knew it or not. So, Jammin' Storley says, are there bobcats in your area? There are no bobcats in my area. I would say your bobcat population is like Bangor south. There's a lot of bobcat now down near Augusta way where I live for the rest of the year, but not up here. Up here there's lynx. I'm seeing like 1 to 5 different lynx tracks every day. You know, there's a couple lynx around. There's not a lot, but there's a decent amount. Otis Todd, for that much cash, they should have given you a skidoo cover. Any trapping upcoming? Oh, any beaver trapping? Yeah, there might be some beaver trapping this week, believe it or not. Russell Ballard, will you be fishing any of the local lakes like Big Machias or Pratt Lake? It's possible. It is possible. I fished some this year. Doug Mushorn, glad you're back, Joe. Great content, friends. This feed seems the same here in southern Maine. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I didn't know if it was clearer with the phone or the computer. 29 sweep, 176 feet. That's almost needed a decompression tank. He had to pause twice and decompress on the way up at different intervals of feet. I'm so excited for you guys to see this video that's going to pop on Saturday night. of a snowmobile recovery in the bottom of Sebago Lake at 176 foot deep. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm super proud of the video, of the edit. I'm embarrassed to tell you how long it took me to edit this video, but I got a lot of time into this video and the edit. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope it brings the diver a lot of well-deserved publicity. He's just an amazing person and an amazing diver. And if you guys are unsure of what a winning attitude is, wait till you see this diver. Wait till you see this video on Saturday night. I'm just pumped for you guys to see this video. I'm really excited about it. The next couple trapping videos are awesome, but this other one I've been sitting on for a little bit of time. So Kyle Cobb says he used lobster bands on the bottom of my trap. Perfect. Yep, those are good bait keepers. There's Tate. What's the best game camera you have put out? Tate, I'm so sorry, buddy. You've asked me that. This is the third time. And I was going to tell you at the end of the year, but let me look at these ones here. So guys, what I did for trail cameras is I just order a bunch of like the cheap ones. They're just Korean or Chinese knockoffs or whatever, just because I needed so many. This one actually worked. It's called KRUTUTY. That one worked pretty good. Is this the best one? Yeah, Tate, sorry about that, buddy. Next time I see you, I'll actually put one in your hands so you can see. I think this one might actually been one of the better ones, but the one I have on the Camp Martin has proved to be the best so far. So this one is called Best Trail Cam at Outlook.com. So that one's worked out pretty good, but none of these, I don't think I have $50 in any one of these trail cams. I try to keep them in like the $40 range just because I have like 25 of them for the Trapline. So I'll definitely get you that, Tate. Sorry about the delay on that. I'm actually still testing them and figuring out which ones are good and which ones aren't. Spuddy says, what's a good depth for brookies on East Grand? So I've never caught a brookie, and I've never tried to catch a brookie in East Grand. Whenever I'm in East Grand, I'm always fishing for lake trout, and I actually don't even fish for salmon when I'm there. I'm just there for the Lakers because it's got a good population of 10-pounders. But I would honestly I wouldn't fish any deeper than 6 foot. If you're fishing brook trout through the ice on East Grand, I like 2 to 3 foot, to be honest with you. So Mike Laporte says 176, lots of air needed. Yeah, he did not use, is it nitrous or nitride? I can't remember the word he used, but he didn't use that because it got dangerous because it was too deep. But it was crazy. Absolutely crazy. Mark Guy, look forward to your videos every evening. Joe Osgood is definitely a great guy to hang out with. Yeah, we had an awesome time. He was Joe from FVM Maine Outdoor Journal. I just like saying that. Pine Bottom Woodsman says, dude, I love your videos. Thank you. I appreciate that. Shout out to you for that one. Maine Outdoor Life. How's Donnie doing? I messaged you this morning watching a video and was like, where in the heck is Donnie help move trees? I don't know. I'm not sure. 3 English Labs said, yep, I did say beaver. You're going to see some serious beaver on this channel coming up. Doug Mushorn, thank you so much for the super chat. That is incredibly generous of you. Thank you. Mr. Viter says, how often do you fall when you're not filming? I fall a couple times a day on the trap line. I try to move through the woods pretty quick. A couple of people commented on that when I had Joe with me, and I was going super slow with him because he's not very swift of foot. You know, he's not quite the ballerina I am. So I went slow for his sake, but I go pretty quick and I end up falling quite a bit. But I'm padded pretty well, so I'm okay that way. There's Cascade says hello, welcome. D. Schaber says we used Jared fish in the sun all summer. Boy, it stunk. Imagine. Jeremy Wills says hello, Joe from Caribou. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Eric Kramer Outdoors. Howdy, Joe. Welcome. Dad Mark says you should have a coyote bait and a thermal scope at camp. That could be fun. I'm actually going to put out a bunch of bait not far from camp. And if the coyotes start coming, I might set a few traps before the end of the season and try some snow trapping for them. Randy Marcotte, glad you're feeling better. Get the trucks fixed yet? Not yet, buddy. I think it's going to happen this week. It's been a really interesting week in two-wheel drive with anywhere from 5 to 11 inches of snow on the ground. It's been pretty interesting. It's been fun. I got out of my comfort zone a few times, but I kind of live outside of a comfort zone for the most part. If I'm ever in a comfortable place in life, I just don't feel right and I do something stupid. So, Burton Bird says, could you use a couple strips of wood to join the crease the gaps in the shelves for strength? Oh, of course, yeah. More cans of bear grease to test the shelves. Yeah, no, I could beef that up, but it's fine. It's not going anywhere. And I ended up putting a can jack underneath it so it can't go anywhere. Jeremy Jacobs Outdoors says, how much money does a good Eurap cost and what would you recommend for a first time trapper? So this is something I learned the hard way, and I'm really, really speaking directly to you new trappers, and even actually I'll speak to all trappers. Spend the money on the best possible traps you can buy. I tested out every brand last year. Obviously, if you watch my channel, you'll see I'm a big fan of Belle Isles. It has changed our trapping night and day for efficiency. They're the strongest traps on the market. They're the most ethical, moral traps you can use. So if you can afford 6 Belle Isles or 12, even 24, or 24 155s, buy the 6 Belle Isles. You will catch more fur in them, and it's more of an ethical kill, and it's a way better trap that you can use for the rest of your life. So hopefully that answers your question for you. Chris Watts, going to be a great season. Made it on the lake today in central Maine. Awesome. Yeah, this is shaping up to be our best ice fishing year in the history of Maine. Well, in the last 20 years, let's say, in our history. So M.I. Myers says, I checked my small trap line again today before I head up to Minnesota for a few days. At 2 separate trap locations, I had fresh cat tracks walk right by my boxes from this morning. We're getting closer. Yeah, that's a bummer. D. Schaber says, too much pressure on the lake. I'm not sure which lake you're talking about. Tate says, do you believe the screen is better than the wood on the bait end of your box or little difference? Man, I don't believe there's any difference. I've been trying a square hole in the middle, square hole in the corner, diamond hole in the bottom, in the front, and in the back I've run small mesh, big mesh, lobster mesh, just a board, and then Donnie forgot to drill out one of the boards this year on the back, so I had no ventilation at all, and we caught 2 marten in that box. So I really don't think it matters. I think you should use what's best for you. So whatever you can, the advantage to the wire is that it makes the box a lot lighter to carry, and it gives you something to grab onto, and the animals can find the bait a little bit easier. But with all the trail cams I'm running and all the furs that we've caught this year, I'm not noticing any difference. I think it's location it comes down to location is everything on those. TR Actual sliding in to hang out. Thank you. Appreciate you coming. Kyle Cobb, I want to fish with Brandon. He's a lot of fun to fish with, man. He's top notch. April says hi from the Philippines. Whoa. I don't know if I've ever had anybody from the Philippines viewing before. Thank you. Burton says, like your channel, been watching all the 4 to 7 year old videos. Thank you. I appreciate that. That brings up a good point, guys. If you're new to the channel, we're picking up a lot of subscribers and a lot of new viewers every day. Don't be afraid to go back. Like all my old footage, I leave it up. It's not bad. It's not bad stuff. I'll let you guys decide if it's good or bad. But if you're interested in any long ice fishing trips, some winter ice camping, there's a whole nother season on the Trapline. There's open water fishing. There's professional bass fishing on there. There's a lot of really cool old videos on the channel. I think I might have like 800 or 900 videos on there. So there's plenty of good stuff. It doesn't have to be fresh or new. Yeah. There's Ron McGrath. Thank you for tuning in, Ron. Dutch Kreutzer says, howdy from Montana. Oh, man, I'd love to go to Montana someday. There's the old man. He says, free the fighter is too valuable a resource to catch only once. I couldn't agree more, and that's who I learned it from. Thank you. Uncle Bucks Forge says, me again, caught my first fox in 40 years. retired in May and living my dream. That is awesome. I did not get a picture of that fox, so send me a picture of that fox. I'd love to see it. I saw a picture of you on the trap line. I haven't had a chance to get back to your email yet, but that is so cool. I'm so happy for you. Congratulations, and love to see you chasing down your passion. Zach Potter says, what's the total mice count for the year? So the mice slowed down once it got cold and snowy. We're probably at like 75 mice on the front porch caught this year. It's been pretty crazy. Ashton says, episode 35 of season 1 has the skinning episode. Thank you, Ashton. Carter Martin says, I like the lever action rifle. I do as well. Thank you. Jay Olson said, what was Donnie's reaction to the Cubby set producing? It was awesome. He was so happy. He gave he said, wow, super, were his exact words. And then he wanted to know like the throat patch and the size of the martin and the color. He was really, really excited about it. So Rich Shackelford, longtime viewer, thanks for tuning in. He's from Pennsylvania. Matthew W. Anderson, love the Trapline videos every day. I look forward to you, Joe. More ice fishing too. Thank you. I appreciate that. We're going to have a lot of ice fishing this year, guys. Michael Rutledge, hi, is this new fishing vids from last year? Exactly what it is. Yep, they're new fishing videos from last year. Birch Bark Outdoors, Joe, thank you again for being a motivation for me. I am still on cloud 9 for my first otter. Man, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate hearing that from you. And I think you did. Did you send me that picture of the otter? Someone sent me a picture of their first otter today, and it was awesome to see. It's actually getting me fired up to do some otter trapping now. Matt Quigley says, are you ready for ice camping to start? Not quite. I'm getting close. I'm going to do, I'll probably do a couple overnights here first in my Brandon box on the trap line. And then I'm going to finish out the trapping season till January 1st. And then we'll move into ice fishing after that. Aaron Black says, hey, Joe, how's the new sled working out for you? Couldn't be better. Couldn't be better. I think I got a little bit over 300 miles on it already. It's unbelievable. It's so peppy and just quick and tight and just, I mean, it's a new sled. You can't wipe a smile off my face when I'm on it. It's incredible. Otis Todd says, do you have walleye in Maine? We do not. We do not. The state tried stocking them once. It didn't work out. And now there's somebody like illegally stocking them in the same bodies of water, and the state goes and nukes them. So I don't know if that makes any sense or not. I'm going to repeat that. The state tried to stock them. It didn't work out. And now there's someone illegally, privately stocking them in the same bodies of water. And the state goes and kills those because those were working out. So I'll let you guys figure that out, but that's all I can tell you on that. BJW says, do you smoke meats? What's the best preparation for tenderizing? I don't smoke meats. Donnie smokes a lot of lake trout and salmon for us in the summer or in the winter. And but I haven't smoked much for meats. So something I'd like to get into. I just haven't taken the time yet. Leslie Byram says, do you ice fish? Yes. It's a big part of this channel is ice fishing. So stay tuned for that. I just posted an ice fishing video last night and have quite a few ice fishing videos coming up. And I don't know, maybe I was one of the first, if not the first, to popularize the winter ice camping in a tent on the ice on YouTube. I know people have been doing it for hundreds of years, but a lot of people did shot videos after I popularized that quite a bit. So Maine outdoor life, then Donnie be saying, well, yeah, well, it's getting late. That's exactly what Donnie would say. He'd even slap his knees before he did. Burton says, get the 4x fixed on the Bourbon. Not yet, buddy. Not yet on the Yukon XL. It's going to be we're probably going to fix it this week. But I'm going to make a cup of coffee here, guys, while we're shooting. What do you guys think of that? That's pretty cool, huh? Give me just 1 minute here. But I got a video popping tonight at 6 o'clock. That's a trapping video. And then I'll give the rest of you guys a rundown if you're just tuning in with the other videos that are popping this week. So I'm gonna make myself a cup of coffee. All right, that's brewing. Matt Quigley, what's the most important life lesson you learned out on the ice or in the North Maine woods? Love the channel, Joe. You're such an inspiration. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I mean, that's just a monstrous question for me right now to answer. Just work as hard as you can. Just put in the work, and take every step, no matter how small. Don't skip steps and just work as hard as you can is the best advice I think I can give you on this live right now. Kyle McBay says, great. Looking forward to the shelf tour soon, the bookshelf. Okay. And we could also do a can tour on the can shelf. My Leaning Tower of Peas. Alan says, use the loft in the camp for sleeping or storage. So right now it's just got some beds and chairs up there for now. No one slept up there yet. We've had a couple overflows. I slept on the floor a bunch of days before I had extra beds up there, and we just haven't used it yet. But it's going to be used for sleeping in the future. Ruger Farming says, howdy, boys and girls. Thank you. Maine Outdoor Life, you ever thought about trapping anything that you haven't had a chance to trap yet? Yeah, I think about wolves, and I think about wolverines. And although I have trapped a lot of lynx, I've never been able to keep them. I've had to catch and release them. So that would be interesting to me. I have trapped muskrat, I've trapped mink, I've trapped otter, I've trapped beaver, I've trapped fisher, I've trapped marten, I've trapped skunk, I've trapped raccoon, I've trapped coyote, I've trapped fox. I've never trapped a gray fox. We have that in Maine. So as far as the species in Maine that I haven't trapped in Maine are gray fox and bobcat. And those do not live up here where I'm trapping, but they live in central Maine and south. So I'd love to be able to trap a gray fox and a bobcat someday. Gateway Lunch Lobster Pound. We are not getting any Trapline videos due to your truck needing a front differential? ? Oh yeah, no, there's Trapline videos every day. Yeah, you might miss one for ice fishing, but there's a Trapline video tonight and tomorrow, and then Saturday there's a snowmobile recovery one that I'm really excited for you guys to see. It was 176 foot deep on the bottom of Sebago Lake under the ice, and we got it out, and I shot video on it. And I'm really excited to introduce you guys to the diver who did it, and yeah, it's just such a great video. I'm really pumped for that one Saturday night. But yeah, no, I'm still trapping. I'm trapping by snowmobile and by truck, and posting videos I'm posting videos every day. So there's Mr. Nico time. Hey, Joe, happy Thursday. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for letting me know it's Thursday. It's easy to lose track of time up here. If Maine had Sunday hunting, I would never know what day it was. BJ asked if you smoke meat, and no, I don't smoke meat. Burton says, hey, Joe, did you get your 4x work on? Not yet. Nothing worked on the truck yet, guys. It's going to be done this week. So the part's here, and I just have to have the time and get it out to the mechanic, because I'm not doing a front end here in the driveway in the snow, and there's so much ice and snow on the bottom of the truck that it's embarrassing for me to even bring it into a mechanic. He's going to have to maybe put it in the night before, and hopefully he's got a good floor drain. I'm actually going to show you guys this. I'll bring his outside and show you this. Let's go. See if the marten's at the feeder. Nope, no new tracks. What? Oh, there's a flying squirrel in the feeder. Look at that, guys. That's awesome. Flying squirrel in the bird feeder to the right. You see him? They only come out at night here. And he's being like wicked still. But see him on the right side of the feeder? That's a flying squirrel. They can literally fly. And it's probably the softest fur next to chinchilla. Maybe it's softer, actually. Whoa, they're just such a cool animal. Look at that. Flying squirrel. He's not moving very fast or eating too much. Maybe he doesn't like the light, or doesn't like us being out here, but I should put my boots on and see how close I can get to him. I just got my slippers on. But yeah, if you guys are just tuning in, there's a flying squirrel in the right side of that feeder. All right, let's go take a look. Let's go take a closer look. I want to see him do something other than just sit there. All right, I'm gonna put some boots on. We'll go get a little closer to him. This is exciting. Flying squirrels are just super cool. There's Donnie's dream. Yeah, see Donnie's dream. All right, let's put some boots on. Go out and check out the flying squirrel. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. All right, we got boots on. We got boots on. We got about 10, 12 inches of snow over there. Yeah, you see that flying squirrel? That's awesome. Let's go see if we can make him fly. Oh, he's about to jump. Where'd it go? It flew away. That was wild. Pretty cool. He'll be back. Don't worry, guys, about me scaring him away. Oh, I was going to show you guys the all the ice on my truck, but I forgot my truck isn't here anymore. Look, I brought it out because I was worried about the snow. What did we get? We got a little bit more snow than I thought. We ended up getting, maybe we got 6 inches last night. Let's go back inside. What do you guys think of that flying squirrel? Pretty neat, huh? Don't you worry about me scaring him out of the feeder. I don't want to hear any comments about that. He'll be right back in that feeder in about 30 seconds as soon as we get inside. All right. We're back. Yeah, he'll be right back in there. No worries about that, guys. All right, I'm going to try to get back to some more comments. Thank you so much for the super chat. I see that on the bottom. And I just got a notification. We got a Trapline video premiering in 30 minutes. So we got 30 minutes here if I stay on that long. There's Paul Ty, 350 Mac, saying hello. Uncle Pat saying hello. Songo River Guide Service, he cannot wait for Saturday night. You're in that one, buddy. You are one of the stars of that one. Brad Johnson, have you ever fallen through the ice fishing? I've scared the crap out of me, got lucky. I'm trying to think if I ever fell. Yes, I did. I fell through ice fishing super, super late in the season, and I knew I was going to fall through. I was pike fishing in a really shallow bay, and the edges had already let loose for the year. This is like March when they're spawning under the ice. And I got on pretty good in the morning, 3, 4 in the morning. Everything was froze up, locked up, walked on. And then like by 10 a.m., I was like, I'm going to be in trouble. And then by noon, you get that late spring sun on it, just pounding on that shoreline. I was like, all right, I know I'm going to get wet getting off. But it was only like 4 foot deep. It was over your belt, but under your chin. And I fell in about 50 yards from shore, and I couldn't get back on top because from 50 yards to shore was just weak. So I just punched my way through and just walked out. And I knew there's always that possibility when you're late season pike fishing like that shallow. So I had spare shoes, socks, clothes in the truck, and I just changed and went home. Yep. But otherwise, the only other times I've ever really fallen through have been trapping, like beaver trapping, stuff like that. But that was a good question. Thank you for asking that. Michael Pitcher, hey, from Vassalboro, you help feed my North Main Woods dreams while I'm stuck down here. Thank you. Yep, that's one of the things I am trying to do, guys, is I know there's a lot of people. I'm not naive to that. I know there's a lot of people that really want to be trapping on a wilderness trapline in the North Maine woods or anywhere really. And I don't take that lightly, that I know I'm living out a lot of people's dreams, including mine. So every day I wake up and I'm super grateful and thankful that I'm able to pull this off. And I try to share it with you guys that can't do it, to either just fill that void if it's something you'll never be able to do, or to maybe give you the inspiration to do it yourself. So thank you. I appreciate that. Henry Sanzo says, Joe, what do you do for employment? Sorry if you said that before. So in the summers, I sell ice cream. And in the winters, I just do YouTube and YouTube stuff. So sometimes the channel pays for itself, sometimes it doesn't. But I try not to get behind with it. That's one of the reasons why I started my YouTube channel. Key Largo, can you sometimes show how you flesh out and stretch a pelt for drying? Sure, yeah. So in season 1 on the Trapline, I think Ashton said it was episode 35, I actually show a complete skinning, fleshing, and drying of a pine marten. Joe, I'm getting my 5 brand new jack traps lined up right now. So excited. Nice. Yeah, you're not going to regret that purchase. 350 says jack traps are awesome. They sure are. Jeremy Jacobs Outdoors says, any muskie trips this year? I love the 100-hour series. You captured the beauty of Maine in that series. Thank you, man. That was a pretty ridiculously cold series. I think it got like 45 below zero, and I didn't really have much heat going. But it was an incredible series. Yeah, it's one of my favorite that I've ever shot. I haven't gone back and watched it yet, but if you guys are interested in a ice fishing series, I did 100 hours alone, sleeping on a remote lake in the North Maine woods, going for muskie through the ice. So if you want to go back and search through some of the videos, that was a fun series to shoot. And I hope, sometimes I go back and watch my old videos and I think they're foolish, and I'm a better editor now or a better filmographer now. So I hope they still stand. But Alan says, have you heard back from your ice fishing pro since he was up ice fishing with you? Oh yeah. I hear from Dudley just about every day. Heard from him today. He's probably going to be coming back up here. He came up last year and we shot some video together. So he now lives in Maine. So we did a lot of fishing this summer, and he's one of my very best friends. Travis LaRosa, how is great to have the legend Tom Moran in camp. So happy Donnie is doing great. It was great having Tom Moran in camp. Absolutely great. I was incredibly honored and humbled. Yeah, so Dudley, we're shooting alive. There's somebody asked about Dudley there. Dudley's calling. I'm shooting alive. Get out of here. What's your favorite foothold? I use MB360. So I really like the MB550s up here in Maine. We're super regulated on what we could use, and they work out great. I switched over and also used some of the No BS 4-coil Coyote Juniors or Wolf Juniors. I think Coyote Juniors, and those were awesome traps too. So have you ever been to the UP? I have not, man. That's one place I got to get. I think I would fall in love. I think it would be a lot like Maine, and a lot of the UP's logging history is tied to Maine's logging history, and like our Webster pattern axe that is pretty unique to Maine. That made its way over there, where a lot of railroad ties were hand cut back in the day. 350 Max says, let's hope there's not a big warm up. Man, I'm crossing my toes on that one. I want it to be cold and winter for the rest of the year. Eric says, thanks for showing me that expedition is a way to go for a workhorse on the ultimate ice fishing sled. You and the KBM boys are responsible for my purchase, and 2 of my buddies bought this year. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I wish I could take all these notes on everybody that bought an expedition because they saw it on the channel or something, and go to Skidoo or my dealer with that, because they told me that they didn't think I moved the needle at all, and I'm like, man, I know I moved the needle a lot. So Keith Rose says, I cover the lure labels with clear packing tape so I don't loose the labels, but I'm a bit anal about that. Real Canuck, I'm picturing you as a ballerina in a tutu. It's not pretty. I didn't say tutu. I just said I can move like a ballerina. So Paul Geisel said hello. Keith Rose, I missed the season due to health issues and surgeries, and last year due to my truck having major issues. Bummer, man. I hope you get out next year. King Crockett says, what's your favorite smelt camp? I've always just fished out of the Gardner, Dresden area. So Worthings, growing up, we used to fish Worthings quite a bit. 3 o'clock Pollock, how much old ice fishing footage will you be sharing from last season? I don't have a whole lot more, so maybe a trip or two. I don't think I have a lot. I didn't, once the channel went down, I did a lot of fishing. I just didn't shoot a lot. I guess I do have a really good East Grand series. I could start working on the edit of that. There were some really good fish caught there and some pretty good people on that one. Vermont Hillbilly, welcome. This is Frank, said, you asked for a small story. My family made a custom rifle for Teddy Roosevelt's son to hunt with. Whoa, that's amazing. I'm really interested in that. Running Bear said, hello from Macwahawk. I don't know where that is, Running Bear. Tate says, I thought you already named the second cabin. Yeah, I love this, bud. Stay safe, brother, and see you soon sometime. Yeah, Tate knows the name of that other cabin. Well, it doesn't have a sign on it yet, Tate, so we can't name it that. Fast HUSMC, U.S. Marine Corps. My wife and watching from Lowell, Maine. Love all the videos. Keep them coming. Thank you. I appreciate that. Kirk Stanley, I'm a new viewer from Canada on Lake Erie, just like your content. Thank you. I appreciate that. KBC Outdoors. Hey, buddy, almost fishing time. I'm pumped for those guys. There might be a new snowmobile in the mix over there. I don't want to spoil any news, but there might be another new snowmobile in that crew from KBC Outdoors, and we're going to do some serious ice fishing this year, guys. Michael Bruyere, Joe, any chance you will fish Western Maine? I'm extremely intrigued by the sonar fishing setup. Yes, there's a pretty good chance of it. Not sure which lakes in Western Maine you're talking about. I usually fish Western Maine and Southwestern Maine in the early season. Mike Poulin says, one might say old Joe is the YouTube ice tent camping pioneer. It's very possible. Chipmunk Range said, ever think of picking up a dog as a camping buddy? I do. Yeah, I still have the dream of picking up a coyote or a fox as a camp buddy and domesticating one, but it's highly illegal in Maine, and there's no way they're going to ever give you a permit for that, but I might do it anyway. I don't know. But yes, I do think about a dog. I want to make sure that I'm fair to it, and as much as I travel and as busy as I am, it would have to be the right situation. So thank you for asking that. Ryan Culler says, we have a 10-day Fisher and Martin season. Do you have a fast track suggestion to get one in the trap? Yes. I'm guessing you're in Minnesota if you just have that 10-day season. Fisher and Martin. So I don't know. You got to have, I've said this 100 times, you got to have the best call, long distance call you can get to get them in your small circle as quickly as you can from a long distance. And, I don't know if it's legal there where you are, but I would drag a dead animal from wherever you start to wherever your trap is. And I would drag scent in the snow or on the ground from 5 different directions all to one spot to my box. I would use the strongest long distance call you can use, and then make sure that you have the best trap possible and that everything is in perfect working order, because you're not going to get a second chance. It's important. So Tony says, any noticeable difference between the Gen 4 and Gen 5 chassis? I don't know yet. I'm wondering if the Gen 5 is tippier. And I know that's a huge thing to say, and everybody's going to jump on me for it. I am wondering that. It's I felt it. I haven't rolled over or tipped it or anything yet. I had tipped my other one over. Going 0 miles an hour once or twice, and going like 50 miles an hour once in some super deep powder. The new one, I'm feeling like the back end going, like if I'm on like hard snow that's like lumped up and I go over it, I can feel the back end like feels like it's kicking up a little bit, and it could be an issue. And it felt like the front skis kicked up a little bit going around curves, and that could be an issue. But I'm not pushing it, being up here alone and running the trap line and using it as a tool. I'm not pushing it, but I do, it's like any tool you have when you have all that speed at your thumb right there and you feel comfortable and get confident. I do give it to her sometimes, and you could average like 55, 60 miles an hour on these log roads pretty safely, barring a moose jumping out in front of you. So I'm not 100% sure, and I'm not jumping to any conclusions or anything on the Gen 5 being a little tippier. I'm gonna try it once we get some more powder and snow. So 603 Mark says hello. I'm guessing that's New Hampshire. Dan's Midwest Angling. There he is. What's happening, Joe? Welcome, buddy. Keith, there he is. Is Snowmobile Recovery your old slush magnet? No, it's not. I got to find out where that one is. I loaned that to a buddy like 2 or 3 years ago, and I haven't seen it back. So I got to talk to him about that. Thanks for reminding me. No, it was a big Bearcat. One of my buddies had. It's just an awesome video. You're going to love it, buddy. Mike Ducey says, sounding much better today. Appreciate that. Thank you. Kirk Stanley, sorry you don't have pickerel. I enjoy them better than perch. We do have pickerel. Yeah, it's actually one of the oldest native species in Maine, and they're wonderful to eat. They're a little bit bonier. It's hard to beat perch, both white or yellow. But yeah, pickerel, pike tastes better than perch, I believe. So pickerel's right in that same family. They're all Essex. Black and Gold Outdoors. I'm about to fry up some catfish nuggets. Nice. Too bad you didn't have any cuss nuggets. Those are even better. Jay says that flying squirrel is going to be a Scooby snack for your camp martin. Man, you're not wrong. The martin comes like in the day sometimes. He comes at night sometimes. I have 2 red squirrels that outlived Donnie being here. Didn't outlive Donnie. They outlived Donnie being here. Donnie took care of quite a few squirrels from the front porch, but these 2 just moved in and they fight every day at the feeder. And one of these days they're going to be out there fighting when the martin shows up. But the other thing is, it'll be cool with this flying squirrel if he's there when the martin shows up, because he's going to be in some serious trouble. You're right. Lynx Ridge, are you going to put a Christmas tree up in camp? Very, very good question. I think I might this week, and I also might do a wreath-making video. Would anybody like to see a wreath-making video from camp, how to make a wreath? If so, I'll make a wreath and put it up on camera. When I was a young pup, I wanted a brand new catcher's mitt, and my parents said, if you want a catcher's mitt, you're going to earn it. And I earned it by tipping for wreaths. That's a thing we do in Maine, and we went out, and we went as a family, and we would tip for wreaths and sell them to a wreath making place. They'd buy them by the pound, and I made enough money to buy my first catcher's mitt. It was what was the name of that brand? Shoot, I'm drawing a wicked blank on that brand, but it was Nakuna. Was there Nakuna? Yeah, it doesn't matter. So yeah, so yes on the Christmas tree. The flying squirrel is very cool. I guess I'm really behind on the comments, guys. I'm going to try to get caught up on these. They don't fly there. Yes, they fly. Mike said he had one visiting every day in Ontario, and the wife named it Nibbles. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Kirk said they don't fly. They're like Buzz Lightyear. They glide. Ah, that's true. Yeah, they do glide. Keith Rose, my brother sees flying squirrels at his place once in a while. His DNR friend says they're very rare here in Michigan. Dave says, Joe, whatever happened to the old cabin on the property? Nothing. I have to burn it down by law pretty soon here. Mike Rogers says, hi, Joe. Danny rocks. It's really coming down. It looks like it's great to see a Georgia boy from Wisconsin as a kid. Mike Rogers for the super chat. Thank you so much. That is incredibly grateful. I'm grateful, and that's incredibly generous. Thank you so much for the super chat. Amazing. Alan Brown, Joe, are you feeling better? I sure am. Kirk Stanley, can you hunt deer with dogs there? We cannot. No, and I've heard that you can actually shoot dogs if they're chasing deer, but man, I would never shoot somebody's dog. Mike Rogers wants to know if I'm selling. Yes, we are going to sell furs to subscribers this year. Hit me up through email, and I'll get you guys the price list and the whole way of going about that. FBM Maine Outdoor Journals here, guys. Say hello to Joe. What kind of perfume do you wear? I wear beaver castor and skunk perfume. Sometimes mixed, sometimes separately. It drives the women in the county nuts. Or in Prentice. Drives old Prentice nuts. Wyatt Spencer. Hey, Joe, what are your plans with the old camp there? I got to burn it down. By law, I got to burn it down. Captain, no. Why don't you hunt deer around your camp? I'm just too busy. I'm way too focused on trapping, and trapping's my passion. I've shot deer. I've hunted deer. I've done a lot of deer hunting. I've shot some monstrous deer, big racks, small racks, tiny racks, and I didn't really need the food this winter, so I didn't hunt deer. Mr. Nico Time says, hit the like, fellas. That would be awesome. I appreciate that, guys. Mike Rogers says, no dogs deer hunting in Maine. ND Mike, I will be catching up on tons of your old stuff. Just had carpal tunnel surgeries today. My dad had that too. I too fell through near shore, late ice. I always keep a change of clothes in the truck when hunting and fishing. That's a great idea. Mike Ducey said, perfume. Yep. A lot of people don't know that even like that high money fancy perfume has beaver castor or sex glands in it. So, Mr. Ten Ball, I think my fantasy days are done. Took up duck hunting. Damn, it's cold in mid-January. Black licorice ice cream are the best. I've only had that once. Mr. Ten Ball said musky through the ice. Yep, musky through the ice. I think on that series, if you go back and watch my 100-hour series, I don't catch any monsters, but I want to say I got like 9 in one day, and had another day with 0. And then I have a different musky series that's only like a 2 or 3 day where we caught some pretty good size ones, over 10 pounds for Maine. Mr. Nico Time says negative 20 here in AB. Alberta was +4 yesterday. Louis Noyes, we love watching all your videos. Thanks you for all you do. Thank you. I appreciate that. Mike Rogers said hello. Dan's Midwest England. How's the shelf of plenty holding up? It's holding up, buddy. We're digging into the cans every day. Steph Markovich, good evening, Joe. Which state in the USA do you think is the least regulated for trapping, meaning the best if you want to go trap? It's got to be Alaska or Montana, right? It's got to be. Yeah, I would think Alaska or Montana. Keith Rose, I bought a trap from Tom Miranda a couple seasons ago when he was tailgating at our convention, just so I could say I bought a trap from the famous Tom Miranda. That's cool, man. That's really cool. He sells them now, autographed. They're really cool collector ones. Is there a limit on the amount of traps you can have out at one time? No, there is not. David said fur traps. Keith Berger, I'll come to Maine to get my expedition and tour the trains. That will show the needle, Joe. For sure. The trains are definitely worth a good ride too, Keith. Coyote Whacker wants to know how everyone's doing. Welcome. Mike Rogers, hey Joe, is James Eddy Camp still around for smelt? Yes, I believe it is in Dresden. Yeah, I think that's James Eddy. I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that one. Stoner Bob said hello. Anglin, Newlands, Angela Newlands. Sorry, it's not spaced out. Said hello. Jay Olson says, I went to a Navy SEER in Reddington, Maine, and I think that's the coldest I've ever been. Yeah. Yep. Les James said, what's up from Indiana? Welcome. This is Frank. It was 3 brothers. One made the custom stock, other made the custom barrel in the middle of Wisconsin. I was blown away when I found that out. Yeah, man. If you get a chance, shoot me a email or direct message or whatever. I really would love to hear more about that story. I'm a big Teddy Roosevelt fan. A handful of those books up there, Teddy Roosevelt. He came to Maine. That's where he became a man and learned how to hunt and was guided here. So Macwahawk is where Route 2 and 2A split. Route 2A goes through Haynesville and 2 goes up through Sherman. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Future Float says, hey, Joe, would love for you to try our new ice fishing bobbers. Okay, I'll try them out. Yeah, sounds cool. I got an email in the description of just about all my videos if you want to contact me through the email. JR wants to know about big bucks in the area. Yeah, there was a couple monsters shot. There was a 227 field dressed, weighed 227. In Maine, it's all about weight. I shouldn't say no one. In Maine, it's historically been all about the field dressed weight, and a trophy buck has to be 200 pounds or better. Racks, a lot of times, there's probably 150, 160 inch racks that just get whacked off, put a screw into them and put them on the side of a barn. That's just how it is in Maine. And scoring antlers is like a new thing to Maine now, but it's all about the weight. So yeah, there was a handful of 220 pounders. I heard in Presque Isle there was a 291 pound field dressed deer shot this year. Dan's Outdoor Adventures, good evening. Thank you. Jay Olson, you need either a Bernese Mountain Dog or a Newfie. They would complement your personality. Thank you. Appreciate that. Keith Rose says, when Canadians say pickerel, they mean walleye. Oh, yeah. Canadians call stuff some weird stuff. I love Canadians. Pickerel jacks, they call a real pickerel jack. Is that what they call them? But yes, we do need walleye. I would love to have walleye. I've caught some big walleye, not in Maine. Roger Lane says, good evening. Ryan Walks, welcome. FBM Maine Outdoor Journal. He wants me to make a Princess Pine one. Be hard to find them right now, buddy, but I'll do it. And I was thinking of something funny to say to you about the Princess Pine. You know, something about you being a princess too, but I couldn't think of it. So you'll just have to think I said something funny, and we'll just go with it. It's the thought that counts, right? Jay says, make a wreath. Ashton's, you should let us know how that mark is doing on the shelf. Oh, it's, well, it can't move anywhere. I'll let you guys know how that's doing. I'll show you guys. So I got a can jack here. So these 1, 2, 3, 4 cans are holding up this shelf now. So we're actually above. We're above the line on the mark now. It's jacked up. So it's not going anywhere. And I wasn't too worried about it anyway. I took a bunch of cans off. So. They want to know what FBM Maine Outdoor Journal's nail polish color is. Paul Shower says, hi, Joe, I'm 66. Started trapping when I was 15 for muskrats and coon. When I lived in Pennsylvania with my dad, he was one of the started me trapping. That's awesome, man. Trapping is just incredible. It's generational. Oh, Mr. Nico Time says, make a wreath with Joe from FBM Outdoor Journal. Let's do it, Joe. Let's go. KK said hello. Kirk Stanley said he shot 1 year ago. Stoner Bob says, howdy from Caledonia, Michigan. Caledonia, Michigan. I don't think I've been there. Paul Showers, I live in West Virginia, but I really want to move to North Maine in the spring. It's a beautiful place. Gary Lucas, love the series on the Bass Opens. That's a while ago, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate that. Kirk Stanley hunts west of Ottawa with the dogs. Bill Santos, have you ever done you Fisher Martin Cook yet? I've not done it yet. I kind of wimped out on the Fisher one. I watched a couple videos on people eating Fisher, and they just said how terrible it was. And I can't even imagine it would be good. But the Martin, I just got to thaw them out because they're mostly frozen in the traps right now. They have no fat. The Fisher's going to be a tough one for me to eat, but I'm 1,000,000% going to eat Martin. And I'll bring some Martin to Molly and Jesse's game dinner in January too. JJ said his grandfather was an avid trapper and he always smelled like black licorice. Yeah, that's called anise. A-N-I-S-E. I've heard it pronounced anise, but I think it's anise is the proper pronunciation. You could order a little bottle of it if you want to bring back some just incredible memories through the smell. But yeah, that was anise. That's a really good lure to bring in animals. William Laurie says, great show, Joe. We sure enjoy and look forward to it. Guys, there's 4 more minutes left to this. I'm trying to get through all the comments. I got a trapping video premiering in 4 minutes. It's a pretty good one tonight. They're all pretty good, right? Lynn Rivera says, hi from New Hampshire. I love your channel. Thanks for sharing. Do you have to have Joe and Dudley more often there, Ryan? Actually put them on together. That would be amazing. I agree. Yeah, I definitely want them both on more often. Kyle Kohler, thanks for all the videos, Joe. You guys posting these trapping videos inspired me to get my trapping license. Just got it today. Congratulations, buddy. That's awesome, and I'm so happy to hear that. And it's you just made a wonderful decision. Roger said the black licorice is anise. Mike Rogers, yes, James Eddy is in Dresden. Thank you. Ryan Kohler says we have 10 Martin and Fisher season where I live. Do you have any advice how to get one in the trap? Yes, watch my season 1 and watch my season 2. There's so much info in there, guys. I give more information than anyone does on trapping, and I try to share it with other people and help other people do better, be better, and get better. So watch those 2 series, man. You're going to pick up more tips and tricks in those from my mistakes or from my victories. Dear Bones from Pennsylvania, welcome. ooh, 23, is that a beaver in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? I'm just happy to see you. MH Bison fan, hey Joe from Minnesota. Ice is building with cold temps. It sure is here. Freddie Love says, you rock. Great job. Thank you for tuning in. ND Mike, interesting tidbit. Teddy Roosevelt said if it weren't for his time in North Dakota, he never would have been president. That is true, yeah, because I'm pretty sure he went from Maine to North Dakota. But AJP, we've been enjoying the Trapline and all your special guests. Thanks from Pennsylvania. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, Joe, how's the season been, Gavin? It's been incredible. Best season ever. ND Mike said Canadians call Northern Pike Jack. Dan's Outdoor Adventures, will you be doing any meet and greet fishing opportunities this year? I want to. I got to find the venue where we can do it. We're not going to blow out an area or cause accidents or cause any problems for town. So I'm still looking into that. Ryan says we have a 10-day Martin season. Do you have any advice for shortcut getting one in a trap? No shortcuts. There's no shortcuts here, bud. We do all the steps and we work hard, but watch my series. You will learn more about getting Martin or Fisher in a trap from that series than I give it all. Greened out says he forgot about the shelf. Arthur Tenen, hey Joe, met you at Andy's camp. Moose hunt, enjoying the channel. Thank you. I appreciate that, Arthur. Ryan Walk, any plans to be at Jack Traps this year? I called last year when you answered. I was the only one that recognized your voice. Yeah, that was hilarious. Ryan Walk. Yes. So I was just hanging out at Jack Traps one day, and I just answered the phone for him for the rest of the day, and someone was like, is this Joe Holland? It was Ryan. That was hilarious. Thanks for reminding me of that. Yes, I will be at Jack Traps. I won't be at the open house. I heard Brandon might be able to get down there, but I'll be there a bunch as soon as I get out of the woods. Ed Robinson said, really enjoy your videos. Do you trap muskrats? I have in the past. I'm going to give you guys a really funny muskrat story this week coming up. But right now, guys, I got a premiere going live on Fisher trapping, and there's some really cool stuff that happens this video. I am really sick at the beginning of the video, and by the end of it, you would never even know I was sick. So I'm going to have to end this live right now. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. I'm so grateful for the super chats and the donations you guys have made to the channel. Those are going to get dumped right back into the channel. We're going to put it to some really cool stuff. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate you. Mike Rogers, thank you so much, guys. And I'm going to tune out. Meet me over at the premiere, and I'll be answering questions over there. Thanks again, guys. Appreciate you. All right.